got in trouble. And this pregnancy didn't suit her, so we decided that, we would just have the 2 boys. And, I just think how hard it was on her. Just made her love those boys so much more. And she did. But she was the kind of person, Maggie, she could put on the most elegant ball gown and go to the governor's mansion and hang out with, the most affluent people, whatever. Or she could come down to, she could go to a food bank in Hampton or Walterboro and fit in. Everybody at both places would say when she left, and that Maggie, she's a good one. She's just a special person.
Alan,
very special person.
Would you ever do anything to harm Maggie?
I would never hurt Maggie. Ever.
Will you tell the jury about Paul, please, and your relationship with him?
And Paul. Paul was just the brightest. He was the brightest. He's the most inquisitive young man. He wanted to be a part of everything. If you were working, I can remember as a little boy, you'd be working on something. It didn't matter what it was. His little head was going to come in there, his nose in there to see what you were doing. He was a man's man. He was 100% country boy. He was tough. I mean, he could hunt anything. He could catch any fish. He could run any piece of equipment. He could use any tool. He could do anything. At 22 years old, he could do so many things. He took care of so many, and he was so tough. But on the other hand, he had a side to him that was just so sweet. He wouldn't come home where he wouldn't go check on his grandparents. He wouldn't go near Somerville where he wouldn't go out of his way, check on his grandparents. To be such a tough person, he would get all of his buddies and get on a boat and go watch a sunset. How many 22-year-old people do stuff like that? He was such a special boy. He cared about people. He was fiercely loyal. He was so misrepresented in the media. Never an accurate story told about what he was. And I'll challenge you right now. I would challenge everybody in this room to go find somebody that knew Pawpaw, who really knew him, that did not have an ulterior motive, that would say something negative about him. And I challenge everybody who can hear me now to do that. Paul was that kind of person. If you knew him, he would help you. And he would be glad to help you. I thought Mark Ball made a good point when he said, Paul might not have quite found his place yet. Paul was ADHD, and so he would jump around from thing to thing a lot. But there's absolutely no question in my mind whatsoever that Paul would have found whatever that thing was that he was going to do. And whatever that ended up being, he was going to be one of the best at it that you've ever known. And I'll tell you one more thing. And I didn't even know this when Paul was alive. But, excuse me. Excuse me. When they were doing his eulogy, I gave the names of some of his friends, and he had a real cute friend that they were just friends, but a cute little girl that Maggie adored. I didn't know her very well, but Maggie did. Maggie adored her, but they talked to her, and Paul, we learned this from her, Julianne. And at 22 years old, I learned, Paul would tell his friends, be present, appreciate where you are, the things you have, and the people around you. I think a lot of that came from it hurt Paul so bad when Mallory died. But 22-year-olds, do you know that think that way? Be present. Appreciate things around you. At 22 years old.
Alec,
He's the most special boy.
do you love Paul?
Did I love him? Like no other. He and Buster.
Do you love Maggie?
More than anything. I love Maggie from the first time we went out.
Did you kill Maggie?
No, I did not kill Maggie. I did not kill Paul. I would never hurt Maggie, and I would never hurt Paul. Ever. Under any circumstances.
Thank you. Please answer any questions they may have.
Sir. Thank you.
Gentlemen, we'll take a